Hello, my primarily schizophrenic viewer base. Right now, we're going to play this game. Meanwhile, I want to talk about some things involving, as this video suggests, my internet friends might as well be pedophiles. Not the situation you want to find yourself in. So I'm just going to de-stress by humping this wall right now. Very tough topic. Let's start with this first thing. Our ideology has the stereotype that we want to legalize child. So, for example, people on 4chan have this one song, not necessarily 4chan, but there's this one song out there, I think we all know the song. It goes, "What does the LARP say?" And one of the lines from this song is, the ANCAP goes, "Legalize child porn." And it's very unfortunate that we've fallen into this trap ourselves. It's almost like a cartoon, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to be associated with child porn at all. So what I was saying was, we don't actually want to legalize child porn. When you see people like ANCAP Doggo posting lolly shit on X.com, it ruins the movement. When does it ruin the movement? Because nobody wants to be a libertarian if libertarianism means legalizing child porn. No one wants to legalize child porn. That's the problem. That's why libertarianism gets a bad rap. Because people like this, people that post lollies, that post lolly porn on their X account, and then talk about libertarianism, you know what that does? That discredits me, that discredits you, that discredits literally every single libertarian thinker. Why? Because they assume they are for child porn. Which is not what we stand for. That's not what we should stand for. That's not what we want to stand for. And of course, I get it, right? It's not technically immoral if and only if, you don't have the NAP as your only moral claim. You need something else that accompanies it. The reason being that sometimes you'll get, like, child porn, consumption of child porn, and all of a sudden it's legal. Nobody wants to be the guy that joins libertarianism and then saw a few pictures of someone from the liberty movement enjoying child porn. And it's not a great look when you say, let us, have some fun. Let us have fun, let people enjoy things like that, right? That's great enough. That's, let most people enjoy things, right? For example, if they enjoy whiskey, let them have whiskey. But if they enjoy child porn, maybe the correct solution is a firing squad. It's not even it is about morality, but in terms of pure strategy, if you're thinking purely strategically, the worst thing you could do that is not explicitly going against your beliefs, say, we like child porn, we need to legalize child porn. Well, that's not what these people are saying. It's for what these people are saying, but sometimes it just feels like you're saying that. And a lot of the times, they don't actually engage in the arguments against lolly. A lot of the time, they actually strawman, biggest strawmans I've ever seen in the universe. I'll give you a quick example. Actually, it was on Tax Brass's Roblox stream the other day, where he was just playing some Roblox games. He was saying, after chat told him, example, mock people who are anti-lolly, and they say something along the lines, or quote something along the lines of, "We was morality," or some shit. They're saying that it is authoritarian and to be against lollies. That's the implication, usually, right? That it's very authoritarian, it's very non-libertarian to be against lollies. Because most of the time, the argument is let people enjoy things, you're not letting people enjoy and it's moral fagging. If you say something like, lolly is weird, just weird, lolly is immoral, that's another claim. Those are two separate claims, but you should at least admit that lolly is, at least somewhat weird, that we should at least have some discussion on it. Fairly anti-libertarian to do so. What the fuck? That just heat missiled me. If we consume something that is akin to child pornography, that is at least somewhat weird. And our thing is the NAP, so therefore, child rape or child porn in any sort of thing, or at least the production of child porn, is immoral. because children cannot consent to sexual activity. That's an argument, and after that, you should at the very least, consider it's not just a moral fagging, that there is a serious problem in our movement when it comes to people wanting to associate with something adjacent to child pornography. And of course, I'm not saying it's child pornography at all. It's not what I'm saying, because that's a separate claim entirely. My claim is that it's weird and that it's not moral fagging to call it out. I think it is immoral. However, a lot of people are not going to like that stance because it's like, they argue it's a position against freedom. Let me get up here so that I can say my full thoughts. We don't like the production of child pornography because that explicitly states that you have aggression in the production of it. However, if you, say, make something that is pornographic in nature, but it involves fictionalized people that look like children, is that immoral? That's a question we need to ask ourselves, and it's not stupid to ask that question. A lot of the time, people assume it's stupid to ask that question because it's, quote-unquote, let people enjoy things. So those are my full thoughts. I said the same thing like 5 times, but it's strange to me how people are like, it's moral fagging to call out lolicon or call out ANCAP Doggo to try and, for trying to damage the liberty movement using lolicon. And a lot of the times I see people like Snakes defending him or other people doing the lolicon. And sure, that might be fine, arguing about it. But I don't think it's a position where it's absolutely abhorrent to be against lollies. And in this situation, I lean myself more towards the side of, hacks, ras, people like that, because, we want to be taken seriously. Do you want to be taken seriously? If you want to be taken seriously, you wouldn't try to justify lollies. In just pure strategic terms, it is probably the worst of all ideas to defend lolly for the sole thing, the only thing that makes it. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by this coughing. I'm gonna fucking die. That the purposes of lolly in anime can sometimes be wholesome if you just like consuming things with lolly in them. That's like totally fine, but don't forget that lolly does come from a book called Lolita. That's where the term comes from, where a older teacher pursues a younger girl. Now, I'm not saying that we need to be Hitler here and burn all of the books. I know somebody's gonna be like, you're gonna Hitlerize this. You're gonna turn into Hitler because you're gonna say burn all Lolita books. I'm not even saying that. No, I'm saying it's a little bit weird, and at least questioning this. Why are we trying to say it's okay? Not even okay, just okay, and that it's acceptable that we have such people in our movement that like to consume not just lolly content, but lolly content that involves pornography or sexualized content that involves lollies, more better described. It's just embarrassing. When it comes to pure strategy, if we want to convert as many people into anarcho-capitalists as possible, and still keep as much of our theory intact. So, for example, we don't want to embrace democracy because obviously democracy is evil. We don't want to embrace a lot of the socialist things in our world because that's obviously immoral, or at least immoral to us. There's one thing where we can improve and get people to not just agree with us on, but where we can improve our image a bit. And the most obvious place would probably be lolly, because a lot of people do have that reputation of us that we're just pedophiles, and we have people who've been in the movement for a long time, not just any people who've been in the movement, but people who've made significant amounts of videos explaining anarcho-capitalist content. When we have those people being associated with something that is at least, you must at least accept that it is at least slightly pedophilic in nature. We don't need that in our movement. We really don't. We already have enough of it. Songs that say that we are and we must be pedophiles, because that's what our movement embraces. And that's what a lot of people assume about us, including communists. Do we want to lose to communists just because we want to jack off to fucking Megumi? And of course, I'm not talking about, like, looking at characters that look pretty young. Because of course you can have young-looking characters and not be pedophilic. For example, if you just like Megumin for just being a crazy character. Anyways, when you have something that's very pedophilic in nature, and you try to embrace it, when you try to show it off, you have the risk of making people think that everyone in your movement is a pedophile, which is not good. It makes communists have a legitimate reason to not argue with you. It makes communists look justified when they say that anarcho-capitalists are heckin' bad. They have those arguments. Why? Because you embrace lolly. Of course, I don't want to be the one that's like, stop having fun. But it's not fun when every single person I meet online nowadays says something along the lines that anarcho-capitalists are pedophiles, they like children, they like people that look like children, etc. It's not fun looking at that. What is pedophilic in nature is looking at a 17-year-old and posting porn of them. A real 17-year-old, just a fictional one. Now, some people are going to start moral fagging, and of course we all know it's fictional. We all know it's fictional. And I don't want to hear the argument in the comments, oh, it's fictional. It's fictional. It's not real. You don't know the difference between real and fake. I don't want to see that in my comments, bro. The reason I don't want to see that in my comments is that we all understand that. For some reason, it's considered an actual argument by lolicons. Anyways, what was I saying? It's considered an actual argument by lolicons that we don't understand the difference between fiction and reality. What the hell are you talking? We recognize the difference. Everyone recognizes that difference. The difference between you and us is that, of course, we think it's immoral, but for slightly different reasons, of course. It invites many other things, especially amongst them criticism. And of course, I've talked about criticism enough already in this part. And that's the part I think is the most unfortunate thing, is that I think it's unfortunate, because imagine the amount of people we could have converted into anarcho-capitalism if we didn't have people that started posting Toradora lollipop on their accounts when they got slightly criticized. Liking lollies, being slightly critical of it, is apparently enough to lead thousands of people, maybe even hundreds, away from the movement just because this one nigga liked lolly a little too much. And you know what, guys? I think that'll be it. I don't know any other arguments I have, because this was made in response to my editor not editing my other video, because he's so fucking goy that he won't edit my other video unless I fix pornography. He asked me to commission, like a month ago, it just came, right? I sent it to him. It's like, this is the one that you wanted me to commission for you, right? And he's like, yeah, there's this really one tiny mistake that I want you to fix, even though I can fix it in like 3 seconds. And I'm like, yeah, but I need to record a video right now. And I recorded the video, I sent it to him, and I'm like, hey, can you possibly edit this video? And he's like, I'm not going to unless you fix the pornography I asked you to commission, because I'm scared of my own fetishes for some reason. Holy shit, basketball. Yes! Okay. I had a very good video planned. I made a lot of funny jokes. I made a funny egoism, objectivism adjacent joke. And he's not editing it because I didn't edit his pornography that had like a 3-second mistake that you can use with the fill object. And it's like, why are you asking me to do this? You literally asked me to commission the porn. This came out of my own money. I'm paying you $20 a month to have your blue check mark, and you're not even using it, and now you're complaining about me not fixing your porn. Are we fucking serious? I can't believe you're fucking serious when you do that, right? Like, am I justified in my anger? write that in the comments below. Anyways, tell me what else I should do in the comments. I don't know what else I should do in terms of video ideas, because I am very creative, but I just don't have a lot of time. So I would really love some short suggestions from you in the comments, including that World Cup tournament thingy I had a little while back that I never ended up finishing because it's just too complex and I can't get it to work. So, yeah, that'll be all. Thank you guys.